Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm going to be Bible journaling in my Illustrated Faith Bible, and I'm going to be Bible journaling Job chapter 1, verses 20 to 21. This is one of the verses, or I should say two of the verses that are taken from the devotional for the month of October. So since we're finishing up October, I'm using up much of the elements that are left over in the October subscription for the faith-based box, which is titled Lift Up a Praise. So I'm going to be Bible journaling these two verses, but before I direct my attention to what's going on screen, I'm going to read just a little bit of what was in the monthly message, and then we'll talk about Job 1, 20 to 21. So I'm reading a portion of the message which says, declaring his goodness, which we're talking about God, mercy and love, which he shows to us each day, declaring his goodness, mercy, and love, which he shows to us each day, giving him thanks for the big and small things, whether we're having a good day or a bad day. This is what it looks like to praise God. We give him praise because there is always something to be grateful for. But let's be honest. There are times when we don't feel like praising. We all have had our lowest points in life when you're just overwhelmed with emotions, and your mind is consumed with distress and you don't feel like speaking, much less giving praise. The truth is that these are the ideal times when we should be praising God, because it not only shows that we deem God to be greater than what we're going through, but it also puts us in remembrance of what he's done for us. And if he did it before, he will do it again. Okay, so I'm just reading a portion of the message because it really ties into the commentary that I was reading in my Fire Bible. But first, I will read that verse from Job chapter 1, verses 20 to 21. And it says, Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head and fell on the ground and worshipped. And he said, Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Now, for those who aren't familiar, Job went through a real horrible ordeal. He lost his children. All of his children were killed. All of his wealth was lost. Everything that he owned, every tangible item he owned, and his entire family was just wiped out. All save for him and his wife were left. And he was very much so at his lowest point. Now, people have said, have the faith of Job, but honestly, in circumstances like this, it's hard to even imagine, praising or even being in a place where you can find some glimmer of light, because when all is lost the way it has been with Job, those are dark moments, and the emotions of the mind and the soul just overwhelm you to the point where all you can think about is your loss. But again, Job was such an example. Yes, he had his moments where he questioned God, but this happened immediately after his loss. He tore his clothes and he fell down and he worshiped God. And he said, naked I came into this world, and naked I'm going to leave. Meaning that I understand that none of these things matter because I didn't come into the world with them, and neither am I going to leave with them. Yes, I'm in the world. I have children. I've birthed these children or helped to birth these children, but they're not leaving with me when I leave this life. And none of the things that I accumulate are going to leave with me either. So let me read the commentary. And it says this in regards to chapter 1, verse 20. And I found it to be very powerful. That's why I want to share it with all of you. And it says, fell on the ground and worship. Job reacted to the disasters with deep grief. Yet he showed an unusual humility as he submitted to God and continued to worship him in spite of this tragedy. After an extended time of suffering and confusion, Job reacted by expressing doubt, anger, and a sense of isolation from God. So his emotions were up and down. It continues to say, yet even in this time of darkness and uncertainty, he did not turn against God, but openly expressed his protest, questions, and feelings to him. The book of Job shows how God's faithful followers should face life's troubles and disasters. Though we may experience severe sufferings and tragedy that we do not understand, we should pray for grace and humility to accept what God allows to come our way. We also should ask God to show us what we can learn from the situation and how we can grow through it. God will deal with our varied feelings and complaints if they are directed to Him. We can tell God our frustrations, not in rebellion, but in sincere trust in Him as a loving God. I would venture to say a loving Father who knows what is best. The last part here says, the book reveals that God accepted Job's questions and in the end praised him for speaking what is right. So it shows us that Job was human. God understands that we are all human. Yes, we're going to have those moments where we're going to be up, we're going to be down, we're going to be frustrated, we're going to be aggravated, we're going to be upset, we're going to be angry. We're full of emotions, and there are going to be high and low emotions going through us, especially in times like this. But what I love here, let's see if I can find that part again. Yes, it says we also should ask God to show us how we can learn from the situation and how we can grow through it. God will deal with our varied feelings. God will deal with our varied feelings. God will deal with our varied feelings. He knows that we're emotional. There we go. He knows that we are emotional beings. He knows that we will have these highs and lows, as I expressed. He expects it. But what it says here is that Job took his questions and all of his emotions to God. He didn't go sit in a corner by himself and try to reason it out on his own. He didn't go to friends and try to reason it with them. He reasoned it out with God. He tried to reason it with God so that he could get his answers from God. And that's the main part right there. I think a lot of the times we try to get into our own head and try to understand it on our own, when God is sitting right there waiting for us to bring it to Him and to talk to Him and engage with Him about it, no matter what our emotions or feelings are. But in all of this, Job's first instinct was to praise and worship God, because he understood that no matter what he was going through, the same way he came into this world is the same way he's going to leave, and that God is the same God yesterday, today, and forever. God does not change. And He's a good Father. He's a faithful Father, because if you know anything about Job's story, you know that Job was given double what he had lost. Double what he had lost, God had given back to him. So that is my entry today, using the elements from Lift Up a Praise, which is the October subscription. And I am trying to highlight that portion of the verse where he says, may the name of the Lord be praised. And as you can see, I took some of the washi and I split it in half on the sticker sheet and used it to kind of frame out the left side of the page. And then, excuse me, and then I took those rectangle frames, and that's where I placed the verse and kind of broke it up using the alphas that are included within the subscription. And I spelled out the verse evenly throughout the 3 frames. And then I'm taking these little floral shapes, and I'm taking these brads, and I'm sticking them through the middle, kind of give them that floral effect. And I love how that turned out. So I used white to brighten it up in the middle, and then I stuck the brads through. So what I'm going to do is add a little more pop of color, as you can see me doing on the screen, with some of the florals that are included on the sticker sheets, because I don't want just like the stark white behind the frames when I put them down, the frames with the verse. And then I'm taking those bigger pieces of floral, I'm putting tape over the brad, and then I'm taking the adhesive tape runner and putting it over that tape so that I can adhere it down to the page. And then I'm just going to take adhesive foam tape and put it to the back of those frames and just stagger them a bit. The one in the middle was like too stark white, so I got my ink, my little mini ink, and kind of distress the edges so that it can pop a little bit off the background of the white. And after that, it's done. I jot down the date in the corner and my layout is finished. I love how this turned out. I love the pops of color, even the gradation of the stripes on the side with the matching colors in those big floral pieces, and the pops of color with the florals behind the frames with the verse. And I just love how it turned out. And using that adhesive foam just popped out the frames just a little bit more. If you know anything about me, I love dimension on my page. It'll get a little bulky, but it's okay with me. So that is it for my layout today. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Also comment below. Let me know what you think about the verse and the commentary that I've shared with you, even in the message. Comment about that in the below. And also, I don't mention it enough, but check the description. I do have affiliate links. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help me out. So check out those affiliate links, and also some links to the website. We've got the November box coming out tomorrow. You may be interested in taking a look at that. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me on this Bible journaling entry. I've been just eager to get back to doing a Bible journaling entry, and hope to do more of these with the remaining boxes, even for this year and the coming year of 2024. So thanks again. I will chat with you all later. Be blessed.